Once again, we are coming to you from FEE. I'm Brian Hyde with Loving Liberty. I have with me today Brittany Hunter, who is a writer for FEE. And Brittany, this is my first time at FEECon. For a person who has never heard of FEECon or been here before, how would you describe this event to them?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know if I should take it or not, but FEEcon's different than any other event I've been to in the Liberty space in that we do celebrate individual liberty. We are here for the same reason, but we're highlighting how we can get there through entrepreneurship and free market principles. So it's kind of twofold. It's one, encouraging people with different stories about entrepreneurship and teaching them classical Austrian economic principles.
So who is the target audience? I mean, obviously, I see a lot of young people, which is very encouraging to me. Is there a specific age range or place in their life cycle that you're reaching out to?
Yeah, so at FEE, we usually first make contact when they're in high school, and they come to our summer seminars or our seminars during the year, and then hopefully that feeds them in here. But we also have our campus ambassador program. We have a lot of representatives from campuses around the country here, as well as our alumni network. So it's kind of a whole bunch of people, but young professionals.
I know that there's a stereotype out there that kind of says, well, the millennials, they're all little snowflakes and they can't handle hearing truth, or they have to go to their safe space. And there may be some examples of that, but the millennial generation is one that I know you're doing a great deal of outreach towards. Talk to me a little bit about the work that you're doing and why is it so important that we reach out to the millennials, especially with this message of freedom?
Yeah, well, I think one of the scariest aspects is, so I'm in my 30s, and about 3-4 years, everyone I graduated from high school with is going to be eligible to run for president. So let that sink in for a minute. So for me, it's important because I'm thinking, okay, something's got to give here, because like everyone I graduated with is for the most part leaning left or very socialist, but they don't know that they're not socialist. They don't know that every time they use Amazon Prime, that every time they are tweeting from their iPhone, that they are actually helping the free market. So I kind of help them realize what they already know. They just haven't put a label on it.
So where do those socialist attitudes come from? Because I see it too, and frankly, there's a lot of people even who aren't young who kind of lean that way. Any ideas on where that comes from?
Public school. One thing I always remember is the book The Rainbow Fish, being read that in 3rd grade, which was essentially about a beautiful fish that had these beautiful scales, and no one would be friends with her until she had to give everyone one of her scales, and everyone was half beautiful. It was this whole thing of sharing, is better. And even as a kid, I remember thinking, what? But I'm just one of many. But unfortunately, a lot of people bought into that mentality. You have to share. You have to do this. It's all together. We're a community. We're not individual entities. And I think a lot of us are starting to figure out the opposite.
There's a lot of educational aspects to FEECon. Economics is one of those things that, for a lot of people, you say economics, you can kind of see their eyes glaze over, like, oh, that's numbers and things I don't want to care about. Tell me about how economics is put into terms that people can find practical and applicable.
Yeah. We are each economics. Every single one of us is an economic entity. And by creating individual and personal unique value, we're adding to this economic, what we call economics. So it's so funny to me because it's not some giant apparatus. Each and every one of us has that key of economics of finding a job and creating worth and finding our niche. So yeah, it's us. We are the economy.
It's interesting too how technology is changing. Not only the actual money part of economics, but how we communicate, how we learn. Are there any aspects of teaching, for instance, not just freedom, but economics and this other knowledge of liberty that you see and you find especially exciting? Maybe some of the changes that have occurred.
Everything. I mean, look at YouTube. If I want to learn something, even if I want to learn about something as complex as blockchain technology, all I have to do is Google. Khan Academy has classes on blockchain and Bitcoin. You can learn anything you want by typing in a search phrase, and that is incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I have to admit, blockchain is one of the big things that I'm becoming interested in, and it's because I hear the word decentralization associated with it.
Yes, and it's funny. A few of my friends were joking about it. People don't really know what that means, decentralization. What does that mean? So one way, to get on a little tangent here, that blockchain is changing things is you can't own a Picasso. You probably don't have enough money to own a Picasso, right? Well, now because of blockchain, you do. There's a new company that is letting you crowdsource and home share, so to speak, art. But you're an investor now. So by using blockchain, you now actually have proof of a purchase, proof of I own 0.4 of this Picasso painting, right? But you're also earning that interest. For every time a museum hangs that painting, you're getting that money. this is decentralization, right? I mean, that's making art available to everybody. So those are the kind of small examples I like to use.
So even if I own just a couple of pixels of the Picasso, nonetheless, I am a part owner.
And you're getting money for that. So yeah, it's awesome.
For people who want to know a little bit more about the Foundation for Economic Education, what do you recommend? I mean, I know you guys, you not only have a lot of terrific writers, I go to the website every day to see what new articles are up. Are there other materials that you publish?
Yes, I mean, iPencil, I'm sure you guys have heard of. We do all the classic texts as well. We have like Henry Hazlitt and Mises and Hayek. We also have our own podcast and our own media program. So we're everywhere. We're in every space now.
Okay, Brittany Hunter from Foundation for Economic Education. We are at FEE, and I appreciate so much you taking a few minutes to visit with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you. Shake your hand one more time. Hope I didn't overwhelm you with my caffeinated commentary.
You are awesome. Thank you.
See you later.